All right, I think we are live. Let me just move my things out of the way. There we go. Okay, I should probably get off my chart actually. All right, hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan, and today we are back for another trading stream. Some exciting things obviously happening here, there, and everywhere. Not just now, not just a couple of days ago, or there you go, 2 days ago. Across the entire span of last stream, and now, and 7th of March, we've got things going on. Okay, so going to be exciting. Couple days. You know, while if you know, we're going to read an article about it in a minute. The strategic reserve announcement and when that full thing's going to be happening, 7th of March, I believe it is. A whole lot of things will be happening in the market. So my plan for this stream is kind of just to talk about some price points I think we have in terms of. I think we have to be kind of aware. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't trade coins over the next couple of days until March the 7th. But I do think the main focus today is going to be focusing. But I think I'm going to hone in on what prices I think we could see dependent on this movement, which I reckon is going to be a positive movement, and what prices we'll probably see due to this movement. So kind of trying to map out what sort of ranges we could expect after this, you know, the resultant of Friday, basically. I'll obviously give some, obviously shorter term TA over this week, and but the main focus is going to be trying to, you know, in theorize, talk about where we could see for some of the price points for the pumps on Friday. So excited about that. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me get the chat up. Also, YouTube is broken on the streaming app I've got. It just doesn't work. So the chat doesn't appear. It's just completely like famoosed or whatever you want to say. So you can't see your chats, and I have to like alt tab to see the comments. So obviously I will get to you guys in due course. But I want to say hello to everyone. Hello to Kishan, KB, shout out to you guys, Velvet Rope as well. Thank you all for being here. What is this? Let's see this. Hey, Mike's just posted. We close to seeing me gap on the Telegram. Okay, yeah. I saw he talked about that actually. Yeah, we have some gaps. I actually have some other gaps down here about 82k, which I'll talk about in a bit as well. Whether we get there, whether we not, whatever. I'll also talk about the movement we've had with this this breaker block and this nice bounces we've had. But anyway, we'll get onto it. We will get onto it. So let's look at some percentages. See what we're doing. How's the market going? 9% down 7-day. Bitcoin 8.78% down 24 hour. Obviously, we can see by this massive day candle, we clearly know what's going on. We're kind of just like, you know, coming down basically the entire movement we had over Sunday, which is very nice for us. But again, obviously, sometimes, you know, we can have these movements on the Monday and then recover it over the course of the week. So we might not expect this sort of movement, but it is dependent on what comes out in the news over the next few days as well, I think. And 2.24% down the 1 hour, which is quite cool actually, considering the fact that we printed the hourly candle about 3 minutes ago. So very nice. 85.5 right now. Obviously on the lower ends, if you to consider yesterday and the movement we had all the way up to a nice 94.4, bouncing off this nice breaker block we have here, which we used as support, which I believe was a negative breaker block. If we come onto it here, yeah, you can see this is a positive order block, which means it'll be flipped to a negative point of resistance, which you can see we bounced off really nicely over here as well. We do have these different lines on different ranges, but we'll get onto it as well when we get onto it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I also haven't started the timer. I just realized, so I should probably do that now. There we go, perfect. I'm getting too ahead, you know. I'm getting too excited about the stream that I'm forgetting. 21.25 for Ethereum. Yeah, it's not good, but I don't think it's going to be bad. Realistically, considering what the powerful thing we have. Well, I'm trying to word this properly. The absolute influential event we're going to have on Friday. I don't really want to be worried about what we're doing right now. You know, in terms of where we are, in terms of longer term, the price point we're at. You know, obviously you can trade dailies and or trade within the day, but I think, you know, if you considering 894 where we are right now and thinking, oh my god, well, this is really bad for the price. Whatever we're doing right now, I really don't feel that bad for the price, considering what we're potentially going to be doing on Friday. But I do want to have some concerns as well with some of these pumps, because we are going to have, we might have a scenario like we had last time when Trump did something massive for crypto and got really involved. When we had this massive pump, everyone thought we were going to pump, then we dumped, then we pumped again, and then we dumped. So we're going to have a bit of crazy news. Again, this is a long-term positive thing. This is a really good thing to happen for crypto. So I'm not saying the outcome of this is going to be a negative, but I definitely think there's going to be a lot of movement on Friday when the whole thing's happened. There's going to be definitely there's going to be I personally think anyway, there will probably be a big move upwards, big move downwards on one term. I think we will obviously end up positive, but again, I don't want to have what happened last time to happen again when we kind of came down quite far actually. So just about that in mind. But anyway, 14.5% down. 24 hour for Ethereum, yeah, quite a heavy move down. And again, to compare my support points and whatever we have with obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whatever. Bitcoin obviously is at that stronger point where we do have that equilibrium, which I did talk about on Friday, being that support point at equilibrium. If you're there on Friday stream, you know what I'm talking about. This equilibrium, I've hidden all my ranges to kind of make it a bit more cleaner. So we have this main, vast equilibrium here. If I go to like this one as well, we can see this kind of area in between 832. My main point on Friday, as I was saying here, was if we can hold this, 83.2 to 8 mark, I reckon we'll slowly come up towards 80, the 86 and the 90k and so on and so forth. Ignoring that, basically, we came straight up on Sunday, all the way up to 94k. Again, we did have that positivity of the Crypto Strategic Reserve announcement, so that really did help us to come up. But again, this wasn't a movement which was substantial in terms of its good price action. It was more so a movement of externality and a movement, which wasn't really orchestrated on something on the chart, for example. So we didn't have that structured move up from the equilibrium. So I'm not really surprised that we've come all the way back down, because again, it wasn't a movement which, in my personal opinion, had the structure to have the highs and the lows and stay at a point like 93k or 90k. Because if you remember what I said on Friday, it was us slowly coming up between 86 and 88k and whatever, and then coming up towards 90 and 93k for that top end of the equilibrium. However, we haven't seen that again because of the movement we've had. Hasn't really been very structured. Anyway, let's go back to percentages. Yeah, Solana, I want to see Solana quickly. 142. So again, we're still at that support point, because obviously, again, Friday, as I talked about, we had that. I don't think we're there. I think we're on the upper end of it. I think we had in between, I think it was like 128-ish or something like that, and then like 140, 142 area, and then we had a bit of resistance, I believe, above that. So we probably come above, again, considering Sunday as well, we probably came up above Solana. I haven't actually looked at Solana since yesterday, so we probably came towards, if I to estimate, maybe that area we saw previously. I think it's like 160 area, I think was a low. I think we also had 170, so probably one of those marks there as well for Solana. Because of previous equilibrium we had. But yeah, again, it's pretty negative, but I wouldn't be too worried again. And it makes sense with, I'm not too surprised we've had pretty negative movements today due to what we've had on Sunday. And again, it's not all bad. You can have quite often in weekly have negative Mondays, which tend to recover over the period of the week. So again, not something too long-term bad. I don't really think this is a horrible thing. I think this is more of an opportunity rather than something really, really bad. But yeah, also 20% down Ethereum on the 7-day. So pretty negative, especially for Ethereum. And again, Ethereum, it didn't really have that, proper support. However, my equilibrium was doing pretty well for Ethereum, I think at 2600. But again, 2100 to 20,080, I think it was, or 2080, I should probably say. But that breaker block was a pretty good support point. So again, we probably coming towards somewhere near there as well, again. But anyway, I'm yapping. Let's actually go into this article. I want to read this quickly, talk about what's going on, see, what sort of things we could expect, or maybe talk about what we could expect for crypto on Friday and the forthcoming, and then obviously we can go into the charts then finally. So Trump names cryptocurrencies in strategic reserve, sending prices up. So the summary is Trump names Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano for strategic reserve. Yeah, pretty much top 5. You can go to CoinMarketCap, get rid of the trashy coins, or not trashy coins, I'm not saying certain coins are trashy, but the stable coins, and obviously Dogecoin, which you wouldn't do anyway, and BNB, and then from there, what have you got? You've got these coins. You've got the top 5, basically. So Bitcoin and Ethereum rise more than 10% on the news. Yeah, obviously that was Sunday, with that massive pump we had coming towards 94k on Bitcoin as well. So Trump has moved quickly to back crypto industry policy priorities. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of something he already talked about when we had that stream, quite a while ago. I can't remember what exact day it was, but it was the conference where he talked about, I'm Donald Trump, I love cryptocurrency, and it hurt me actually seeing him do it, because he clearly was reading from a prompt. Again, I'm not expecting him to speak from the heart. It actually has it right here. This was the event where he talked at. But again, it was a bit sad for me, because he couldn't care less. I don't think he really didn't. Actually, you could tell someone wrote it for him, but fair enough, whatever. But yeah, we knew he was going to be really involved in this, and Mike's been talking about Crypto Street Reserve for a while now anyway. So again, in terms of being on Crypto Warehouse and on the channel, it's not something we haven't been too foreign of in terms of the idea of having a Crypto Street Reserve in the US. So pretty good. More than an hour later, Trump added, and obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other valuable cryptocurrencies will be the heart of the reserve. Yeah, so in terms of the split, we could probably expect Bitcoin and Ethereum to be the top dogs in terms of percentages. So, again, no surprise there from Trump. Looking, total cryptocurrency market has risen about 10% or more than $300 billion in the hours since. Not bad. And yeah, he kind of talks about the resultants of this announcement, and then some Butterfield guy. So yeah, shout out to him. Anyway, I don't want to dilly-dally. Let's go to the chart. So what I have here, I have these white lines. Okay, I thought I want to kind of calm the chart down a bit because it does get a bit hectic. Sometimes it gets hard to read. Sometimes it gets hard for me to read. Okay, because there's people out there who have really nice clean charts. People have messy charts. Like, I know there's definitely some streamers out there a lot worse than me in terms of the cleanliness of their charts and how it is displayed. But hey, why would I try and pretend these are my charts, so whatever. But these lines, what do these represent? These are the highs and lows of, or two highs and a low, depending, high and a low and whatever. I believe I did this one, the 196. I clicked the wrong one there. So this is the highs and the lows of, or interchangeably, of this range here, which is a daily-ish range, which is pretty well respected. So we can see, if we span this back even, a pretty nice usage of it. And this is basically just one of the highs of the ranges. One we've had difficulty with, because again, the only times we've broken above this area have been small dips before we've seen a lower end. And again, it's been a fight we've had for a while now, trying to get above this, especially considering over here with this 98k area and this long from here, 98.3, 98.4 has been, one of the most difficult lines after we had this pump and then we dumped in the market and, kind of settled at this price where we kind of just had this mass build of liquidity before we had a pump upwards to kind of sweep it and then dump. We obviously had this price point be a really difficult high, which was 98.389, whatever it was exactly. And then obviously we had this dump and whatnot. So these lines are basically just to represent these highs and lows and kind of make it a bit easier for us to actually see these. So what I'm looking at here is where I could see these highs. So these are like really important lines. Obviously 100k, I've already talked about before, 100k is very, very important. This is also a positive breaker block. So this is something we've seen resistance at, because again, these are still technically order blocks, so we can see negativity at them. However, we more times than not, more often than not, whatever you want to say, we do flip these pretty immediately onwards. And then obviously continue onwards. But the difficulty of this being here was that on one of these ranges, we did have this high point at 98.394, which kind of stopped us from coming up. Similar to over here, where we had this 105k breaker block, and then equilibrium at whatever price it was exactly. Where was it again? Which one? Here it is. Yeah, so we had equilibrium here at 106, like I said, sorry. So yeah, this is a very similar scenario where we have this breaker block which doesn't really have that much potential to be used due to the fact that it is at this equilibrium and our momentum isn't that high in these scenarios. So very similar scenarios here. But yeah, this 98.3 has been a difficult price. So in terms of a price, I'd want to flip, more importantly than not, is going to be this 98.3. But again, we don't know how the magnitude of this of the response from this news announcement on Friday. So I should probably talk about what we've done lately and then go on to these prices. You know what? No, I'll finish these prices. And then we'll have a little quick look at what we've done lately, and then we can move on, whatever. So let's have a look. So yeah, we have these prices, like I said, and we are currently in equilibrium now. So the difficult areas, not only has it been attributed to these highs and lows at obviously 98.3. 118k at this high, which is going to be seen. Like I said, we had this kind of price point before we saw difficulty at the equilibrium. I had this kind of trend going upwards towards 118, where I reckoned on a long term we would see that be resistance, and then settling at 116k. However, to continue, we on this range anyway, which is quite a large range, like I said, maybe a weekly. And again, if you've been on my streams over the past however many streams, 10 streams, whatever it's been, you will recognize this kind of chart and this equilibrium and whatnot. being that we have these difficult points at 94k, 104k, obviously support being 83k and so on. Support down here is obviously the lower time framed low points at, for example, 78k. At this level, you can see this one here. So this isn't too unusual to see, but a well respected price range is this one 19683. You can see multiple times these equilibriums, because this is a good representation of these higher time frame equilibriums on the smaller end, on like the 4 hour, let's say. So but regardless, we do have these different stopping points. Let's go to the daily actually. So for example, we have this equilibrium difficulty. We do have the support down here, which we printed at, which was very nice. We do have this difficult area here at 104.5k, which we weren't able to get above. So this kind of gives a nice overview of our really important difficult areas we have for Bitcoin. Obviously, like I said, you can go on the lower time frames and the lower ranges and see more in detail, but this gives a nice overview of the ranges we have of difficulty or support. So like I said, my obviously current difficult area we have is going to be 93.8, which also kind of spans into this breaker block at 94 area. But again, with enough positivity, we'll break above this. Again, this isn't a higher time frame breaker block. It's not like we're on the daily here. This is, I believe, a 4 hour breaker block. Yeah, this isn't going to stop us from doing anything. I don't think this is really going to stop us. We've seen negativity out here, and again, maybe on the 4 hour, if we do another higher low and we go back there again, we might see maybe another high point here. So, but what I'm saying is, on the daily anyway, we shouldn't realistically see long term difficulty at 94.9, 95k. But again, coming upwards onto actually some higher time frame things like this daily or a breaker block at 99.5 here, for example, which we have already bounced off. But the important part about this one is we've already seen that negativity from the order block side of things. So I do think flipping this and potentially using 99.5 to 100k of support is going to be really good for us, because we obviously came down from this high point of the equilibrium, and obviously we saw it print, but we never used it because obviously we flipped it and used it as order block. And then again, the lower time frame 98k resistance didn't allow us to break back above and actually continue onwards. So then we fell low. We fell down to the next point of support down here. So yeah, again, I think that's the next point I see for Bitcoin. This 100k support, I reckon this can be a decent support point for Bitcoin. In terms of getting to that, I don't think it'll be too hard considering what we have on Friday. Now again, like I said, I think it was still in the intro, I was saying this, being this the high likelihood chance, in my opinion anyway, that we have a big movement upwards or downwards, or big movement downwards then upwards, because again, if I were to go back anyway, I can't remember exactly where it was. I don't know if we were here. We might have been here or we were somewhere down here. I can't remember exactly. No, we weren't. We were down here. Oh, sorry, I misaligned my charts. I think we were over here somewhere in here. We had that I think it was on this latter end down here. We had the conference, and that was a whole shabil thing going on. That was something, okay. And I remember being live at the time of that happening, and obviously we saw the outcome of that, which was that massive pump. But he didn't really say a lot, to be fair, though, in that one. But I think this one's going to be a lot more substantial. So I do think, like I said in the intro, I think this Friday kind of event, whatever you want to say, meeting, whatever you call it or classify it as, I think is going to have whether it be short term or long term, a great benefit for crypto. Obviously a no-brainer to say that, but I think what I'm more reckoning on is the fact that I think even shorter term, we're not going to have as much of that negativity afterwards, because obviously the chance of selling high amounts of buys coming in, that idea that you come down and come below these prices to kind of get that those longs is just kind of common with these sorts of events. But I think even this one with this kind of positivity is going to be pretty positive. But again, like I said, I still think we'll see probably a bit of negativity during that meeting as we kind of have that high volatility moving. So kind of looking at what we've already done, go on to the 4 hour, have a quick look again. We do have these ranges down here. I don't think we'll come to them per se. We do have this support equilibrium. We've already seen these low points, but these are just important areas in this high displacement here for Bitcoin. About 82k, but again, I don't really know if we'll see this per se. Again, it will still be a higher high or higher low, sorry, even if it came to here. So being in this displacement area, maybe towards 83k, could be a good support point as well. If I was to go to the 1 hour, maybe looking here, it doesn't seem like we have anything considerable. We do have some of these in here, but these aren't considerable ranges anyway. So I'm not really going to pay too much attention to those areas there. And again, this is an order block. I don't know what range this was on. I remember having that difficulty last stream talking about this range. This wasn't really a valid order block. I don't actually know why I have this, because it's not in any of the ranges I have. So I probably should just delete this, because it's not going to be used. This one, however, obviously, like I have already shown, this one's actually in 4 hour, I believe it's 4 hour. Yeah, it's a 4 hour breaker block, which again isn't that strong. So you know, we have had these kind of flips and whatnot. I believe it is a support point. Yeah, it is a negative order block. So but again, obviously coming from this negative point, and again, not only that, but we have this higher time frame equilibrium just bouncing off of. So I'm not surprised we didn't really hold this too much. Very pretty much identical scenario to what we had up here with this equilibrium here. This is pretty much an identical scenario where we have this. Obviously the equilibrium is at about 92k. No, it was 95k, where we have this breaker block just below equilibrium, which doesn't really get used properly. Very similar to here, breaker block, equilibrium, not potentially used properly. Because again, we are on the lower time frame, we're on the 4 hour here, which in respect isn't such a low time frame, but you know, relative to daily order blocks and daily ranges, is quite a low time frame. So but yeah, anyway, go back to the 4 hour. Let's see our movement. So yeah, we had this nice bounce off of equilibrium and this kind of breaker block coming down. So like I said, we do have even higher low at 82.3 here, which is a important area in this displacement, which I believe could be a good support point if we were to potentially come to there. I think, you know, regardless of that, either way, 83.250 is still going to be a good support point as well. So I do think we have those areas. So like I said, I think because we're on the 4 hour here, we're not going to be shy of coming below this. Because again, this range, this 177 whatever, this is like a high time frame kind of equilibrium and whatnot. So if we go back to the 4 hour, I don't think we'll be, you know, afraid of coming towards 82.360 or 81.4, for example, 81.6 area here. I think this is going to be a good area of a kind of a buy area down here for Bitcoin in these kind of inner displacement areas of importance. So I think if we were to come down again, this will still be a higher low in our kind of range. We've had this obviously downtrend coming onto here, obviously flipped it here, massive displacement, obviously come down here. As long as we're not going below 78k, I don't think we'll go anywhere near there. Anyway, currently in today or Tuesday, I still think we'll continue onwards. However, I'm looking at this on the 4 hour. We might have a breaker block here, but it'll be pretty negative. But anyway, I think this will be a good support point. I think we might see a low here. I think it's not too not too shy to say we'll see a low at 82, 81.6 potential anyway. Considering this displacement. Now again, this displacement isn't necessarily in where fair value gap should form, but it still is a good point of support. So yeah, anyway, that's the kind of the latest movement where we could see that movement downwards towards this area within here, maybe 81.6 area. I don't know what this blue is. Oh, this is the blue. Is this the right blue? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of okay, there we go. So yeah, I think that could be a good support point. I'm gonna have a look at the here. That 4 hour candle is a LGCOC. The EQ aligns with the weekly SR at 81.6. Well, I have 81.6 as well. I mean, maybe not for the exact reason, and maybe not for such a thorough reason as you do have, KB. But I have the range too, I suppose. But because I think it's on. I don't think it's on the 4 hour. I think it's on these 1 hour. These 1 hour middle ranges here. It's like 81.5 area, 80. This kind of range here and this kind of range here from these two areas here. These are very important as well in between here. Now again, we could have this kind of 82.5 to 83.560, but again, you know, fair value gaps, sometimes you can surpass them, and I'm really trying to aim for that wick instead of that kind of fill. So I think it is realistically going to be in between the range of kind of either this high or this high down here, maybe towards 80, this 81 kind of form potentially even, or this kind of 82 area for Bitcoin. So I think we could see the low be there, considering the 4 hour anyway. I definitely think we're not kind of too afraid of seeing a low there. We have had a massive movement downwards though, but again, like I said, the movement we had in this kind of whole section was literally just boiled down to that Sunday mega positivity we had with the strategic reserve. So I still think this is just a correction of that displacement, or of that massive kind of displacement downwards, which we then filled up with these cells. So again, I think we're just back where we were anyway. Considering about 86k, we're back there. So I do think we'll see another low for Bitcoin, maybe towards 81.6, like I said, which is obviously what you had, KB. You know what? I cannot wait for this Friday stream, KB, because I want to kind of crack it all down. Obviously, I know you might have your secrets, and I'm fully understanding of that. But this is going to shine light to all the people who come into the comments and read when you display your wisdom upon us, and then read them and go, I don't know what that means. Hopefully this Friday. I think my main aim, because obviously if you don't know, I plan to do a stream with KB on Friday. My kind of main aim for it is going to be try to be kind of demystifying your kind of methods, if you will. Obviously not giving it all away. Obviously you will kind of have your secrets, but you know, it's going to be big. And I think you have a very intriguing way of. Obviously, I'm not saying it's you know one of one or whatever. But I'm very intrigued. I'm really excited to this stream because I know you have a very intriguing way of doing the charts. So I'm quite excited for that. Happy to go through it. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to help. It's really going to help a lot of people. Help me as well, because I obviously, you know, when people say things, whether they have their own shots or whatever, I want to understand what they're saying to, you know, kind of either compare it to mine or give my opinion or whatever. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I do think this could be, I'll know, on the short term anyway, you know, within, you know, I don't think it's going to take that long to get down here, so I think relative on the 4 hour anyway, maybe, you know, coming into midday Tuesday, whatever it's going to take exactly for this low. Now, again, I think we'll still roughly print within 83,260, but again, once we see this, we'll probably continue on back upwards, which will take us into maybe middle of the week. Again, this breaker block isn't too strong. We have used it as support though, but again, you can kind of see it here though. If we probably go into the 1 hour, you can see it here. This is exactly what I'm talking about, where we have this kind of, we're using it as support really nicely, but I have no idea what's happening. I guess I'll just go back onto the chart. I guess I'll just refresh the page then. I broke the chart. I broke it. All right, anyway, yeah, so going to the 1 hour. Yeah, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Pretty much identical with what we had with the 101, 106k breaker block, where we have this kind of support point, which we were using quite relatively nicely with this 91.35 support point, you know, coming up from this equilibrium area and this breaker block coming down to the support point. Oh, happy days, we're doing so well. But then what do we have? We have this continuation trying to get back above here. Obviously, we have all these highs here as well, which was not very helpful for us. You know, if we go to the 30 minutes, you know, we have some highs here. You know, which we literally some completely solid highs here. You know, if I draw from here, just completely like solid, which we then kind of came up. So it was basically, it wasn't quite equilibrium, but it was this kind of area here, which we kind of sweeps and then came down. But again, coming from these high stress points, if you will, for Bitcoin, I'm not surprised we didn't hold this, and I don't think we will hold this as something strong. Again, 1 hour time frame, whatever, because again, relative to where we are, this is a 4 hour breaker block. So yeah, we'll probably see more respect on the 4 hour, considering the idea that we are at equilibrium. Because again, if I compare it to where we've already seen with kind of this area for Bitcoin, with the equilibrium which we had, you know, if we look, we can see the good, you know, good usage of it, whether it be support or resistance, dependent on it being used. Again, it's not beautiful, but this was kind of where we formed. We then flipped it. We then started to flip it, tried to use the support. Obviously fell then, because again, coming up to this area of equilibrium, we then obviously dumped, and then equilibrium, dump again, equilibrium. Anything kind of in this range was basically equilibrium, so I'm not surprised we fell. But anytime we didn't quite get up to those areas and tried to hold, we did use it decently in these areas. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so to kind of wrap it up for Bitcoin before we move on to Ethereum, probably do Solana first actually. I just like doing Solana first sometimes. Is going to be that 81.6 kind of area, 81.4 potentially, that kind of area for because what's the midpoint of this lower on? I should probably look at 81.4-ish, maybe 81.4 for Bitcoin. Maybe as like the max wick. Again, if you want to be more conservative or whatever, you could probably go for the 82k area. If obviously not financial advice. Again, depending on how we print on the daily, which again is in 3 hours, I don't expect it. We could see this print, but again, this isn't going to be anything. This is in equilibrium, so this realistically isn't going to be used that strong as an order block or a breaker block or whatever. So I think, you know, our retracement towards 81.6 will probably be pretty strong. So maybe along from there up towards, I would probably ignore this 91. I'd probably ignore this. It's not that strong. My resistance is again probably going to be back at 84, maybe towards 85.6 as our maximum. But if you want to be conservative, whatever, you can probably go towards the 94 4K if you wanted to take a trade. Again, we could maybe see a bit of difficulty coming back upwards, you know, as we continue. If we go into a lower time frame, for example, or lower range, sorry, we can see equilibrium at this 86, 81K area. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. I'm trying to see if there's validity to any of this. Yeah, so for example, we could see, you know, 91.85, but again, this is a 6561. Again, these are kind of relative power-free numbers. You know, you don't really need to know, but 6561 on Bitcoin, there's no point really using it, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for Bitcoin. In terms of our highs, it's going to be basically 98.4, and then there's 118K. That's maximum though, that's maximum. But again, this is a big thing to happen. So dependent on what we do, dependent on if we have that kind of, you know, the volatility which gives us this this negative movement downwards, you know, if we, depends on how we start out, because again, it's going to be very volatile. So it is very dependent on how things come through with Bitcoin. What I'm interested to see though, I'm very interested to see really quickly again before I move on to Solana, is, I don't know which one I used. I think it was this one, wasn't it? I don't know where I drew it. Was it? Okay, let's just do this one. Whatever. Is it this one? No, it wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. I'll get the CVD. There we go. I just wanted to quickly see like what sort of yeah, this was massive, especially here. I want to get open interest up as well. Massive positivity. I mean, again, not really that much. I mean, this is kind of relative to the movement. A lot of trades coming in, a lot more negativity. This kind of makes sense with liquidation points. So actually, if I kind of want to draw them quickly, where is my? Where is it? Is it this one? That is not it. I know. Bear with me. I'm trying to get my. I think it's this one actually. I can clean on one. Yeah, there we go. So this would be like maybe about here. Let's say to open up these shorts. And then this would be, yeah, that's not bad. I mean, we still have some of these up here, but again, these are probably getting out. These are probably by like getting out of these trades as we continue downwards. So if I get up this, where is it? This one. There it is. I want to see the short ones. But again, we've already kind of gotten out of them as we continue down here. So we had this massive kind of pump downwards. Trying to see if there's anything relative. I think this is going to be a huge thing to look at. I kind of want to prepare it though. I'll probably delete this, but only hide it so I can quickly draw it on Friday. I want to look at this as we come into the kind of the event, if you will, on Friday. I do want to look at the open interest, CVD, and some kind of liquidation estimations for it, because I think this will be kind of not pivotal, but I think it'll be really, really important for looking at how we might respond in the price action. You know, are we going to respond positive, negative, in terms of the outcome anyway, for Bitcoin. So I do want to look at that as we come into it. I'm just trying to see if we have any latest maps. So we can see all these come in, all these negative. This is quite relative though. Like, I think when we're like looking at cumulative volume change, basically open interest and then price action, it is realistically like when you have a divergence in them, when like, okay, price is going down, there's trades coming in, and then we have negative volume. This just makes sense. Like, we're not gonna have anything special here, but if we saw this be positive, this be positive, and then we had like hoverage in price or something like that, something like out of the ordinary, that is when you have like these estimations. Anyway, I'm kind of yapping here. I'm just going to Solana. Let's actually just look at the ranges and whatnot. I do not want to look at this though. Hold on. Okay, where are we? Let's not be the 4 hour. Okay, so where were we? 280. Yeah, so we came up to the, I thought so, the 170, whatever the hell. This was the equilibrium I was talking about. So yeah, this was pretty similar to what I was thinking we would have done, being at this support point on Friday, coming up slowly. This was a very nice bounce here, especially on this equilibrium. This is probably like a wider range equilibrium on maybe 79. or one of these ones is going to be maybe the 243. One of these is going to be a good support point, but pretty nice usage of this 148 resistance as well. I remember we talked about this on Friday and the day before, or not the day before, the stream before, I think maybe Monday time, when we talked about these ranges coming down to them. Yeah, I think it was that stream there on this Monday, talking about where we could come down to. Obviously talking about the support point, potential support points, considering the lower time frame and the fact that we have negativity. I thought we would come down to these areas. Obviously we did, having this nice support at $128, or the kind of reversal point where we have come into equilibrium. Okay, we've touched equilibrium, and now we're kind of continuing on back upwards. Again, very similar to pretty much everything in the market. We've had this pump towards something significant and then dump. So for example, Bitcoin, it was the breaker block, we had that pump to. In this case for Solana, we had the pump to this equilibrium. Obviously there's probably other things. I mean, this probably not. I mean, we kind of came to it, brilliant, but nothing too strong. I mean, to be fair though, like, we look at the response off this breaker block, really nice. This one here especially, this one here. So this, even though it's very small and on a lower time frame, interestingly, it's actually a very good support point. But again, considering it coming, I mean, if you consider the kind of the movement you would have to get to this position, being you have to come above this equilibrium. So considering the fact that you're overextending your range in between the equilibrium and support at 161 in this case, or if you go to a higher range, obviously higher range actually wouldn't have the equilibrium, but in this case being 161, or at coming from a low point of this equilibrium at 128, this is quite a high point to be in these ranges, so kind of I suppose it makes sense, but quite a very sharp breaker block, if you will. But anyway, 4-hour time frame anyways, to look at this. I want to see these kind of ranges down here. Wish we could see support points at kind of looking backwards here. We could see something in between these areas, maybe at $134 in this kind of potential support point. Again, this realistically though, I mean, dependent on what you look at. I mean, we haven't really had this trend. We had this down part here, really nice structure. We then flipped it higher low. Then we did, a lower high and then a higher low. So it's kind of like sharpened, obviously pump. This is obviously all external. But in terms of, I suppose it depends what you look at. Try to go to the 4-hour though. In terms of this trend, you see it wasn't bad actually, but the low is realistically about $138. So I wouldn't want to see something as low as there, but we could potentially see it. I'm trying to. It's not quite. Yeah, we've already filled this one down here, so we could have maybe 133 as support. I do think we'll probably have this kind of higher low, but I think we'll come down again. Unfortunately for Solana, it does look like, depending on where you consider lows, obviously this was a nice structure, flip, higher low, and then obviously we came up, and now we're coming down again. So this is realistically where the low is about $139. So obviously surpassing this, in terms of the what the trend, on a normal level anyway, would show, we'd have to be above 138, and again, isn't a very good thing when you come below it. But I think 134.5 area is going to be a good area of kind of demand, or whatever you want to call it, for Solana. And I think we will come down similar to how we have with Bitcoin. I think kind of the general consensus is we continue to come down a tiny bit more, and then see a low point higher than previous points anyway. So obviously it depends on what you look at, but if we look at a very higher time frame, we see this low is within this range down here. So we're still going to be higher than that on the higher time frames. So, and we did see kind of an equal high here though, so it's going to be really important to get above 180. But again, the more we stack up at about $180, the more difficulty we're going to see when we go above $182, let's say, and then come back down for Solana. So kind of a thing there. But again, like I said, none of this is realistically going to matter until Friday, basically. Well, no, this is going to matter until Friday. Realistically, isn't going to matter Friday afterwards, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because again, that is going to be hugely kind of orchestrating on the price of everything in the market. Obviously, regardless of what's in the crypto, the strategic reserve or not, regardless of if this XYZ coin or whatever coin is in it, it's still going to affect the entire market, regardless. So you should just genuinely expect on Friday to just, whether you are able to chart the different support or resistance points or significant points on whatever chart or whatever coin you're looking at, it's just basically that is just going to be a test of whether you can see these prices or not. or where you can expect the price to see. Because again, it's not like I can go, oh yeah, we've got this going on, we've got this sort of structure. Now again, yes, like I said, to look at the chart over Tuesday, Wednesday, coming in potentially even to Thursday, yeah, cool. I can potentially try to look at different price points and different things we could see for Solana. But again, once it comes into Friday and onwards, it's going to be hard. So the best I can really do on the high time frames, like I said, is to just look at where's going to be resistance. Because again, realistically, we are going to pump. We'll probably pump to resistance and then dump quite, decently down. But I think the overall outcome is going to be positive. So it's really going to be for me, okay, where are we going to see resistance? Obviously, well, we've got $200 up here, which is going to be pretty strong. To go 243 quickly, we're basically at support of this equilibrium. Like I said, pretty hard to get below this. Where's next? For this, well, we've got this breaker block here, which is positive. However, I won't be too shy of resistance. So we could see, as we've already seen on the daily, we could see that bounce off this line at 214. So I reckon maybe within this area, maybe even bounce off there, wick into 220 maybe, is where I could probably expect for Solana. But again, I don't know what the magnitude is going to be, because a lot of the time when it comes to these sorts of things, I'm either like quite close or scarily out of it. So generally, I don't know obviously personally don't know what the magnitude of this change is going to be for Solana, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum. But especially for these top ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and the ones in the strategic reserve are going to be very dramatic, I think. Obviously, not saying the market is going to be dramatic. I think the entire market, like I said, is going to have a positive effect on Friday. So yeah, I don't know what the magnitude is going to be, but I can only really go off what I have. Again, we could see 243 as a massive move upwards. Okay, well, if we slowly start to come up over Monday, which obviously, we've had this movement over the week. I mean, if we start kind of finalize towards $170 and recover, again, that's massive movements upwards. But maybe I would say maybe 220 area. But again, I could be very wrong. So it's going to be hard. I should probably look at the chat actually. Only you, shout out to you. Welcome back to the stream. I've actually looked at the chat in a while. I should probably look at the Binance chat, but I am not on Binance. You know what? Let me open Binance chat. I know there are some strong soldiers in there who get rid of the spammers, and people who just aren't actually saying anything. And while I do this, I'm gonna get a nice drink of water. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably do a tiny bit more on Solana. We've got 15 minutes left to do Ethereum. If we've got any time, I'll do some. Sometimes I'll either do a coin which I haven't looked at either in a while, or I haven't looked at, or which I think is more fun, is looking at something I don't look at, like some fairy perry type of ooh la la type of TA thing going on. So let me bring the Binance chat. And again, the problem is with Binance chat, if you don't have it open, you don't see the chat. So I have to manually wait for the chat to come in. I've seen quite a bit of spam, so obviously if you're on Binance, say hello. But while I leave that open, I will continue on Solana. So anyway, like I said, so to finalize, like I said, lower time frames, day to whatever, 134 I think could be a good support point. At this area at maybe 133 at the midpoint. I don't know where the midpoint is exactly. I think this could be a good area. I'll have to exactly look at it. I could be slightly wrong on this support point, because we do have some displacements on the 1 hour for Solana, and that I reckon the midpoint of that is about $134. So we could see there for support. So similar to how Bitcoin has that 81.6, 82k area-ish for support, where I think we'll have the higher low. I think for Solana's case, we could have 133 there. So kind of looking at it, it seems like we are kind of building up here anyway. For these highs, we could maybe see that. I think the more we kind of consistently stick at 180, the harder it is going to kind of stay there. But once we have that move above it and then come down again, then I think we'll see, we'll see continuous. So again, over the week, if we eventually do see that moving up towards 180, because again, I don't know what sort of movement we'll see over the week, because again, I'm not a mind reader of the charts anyway, you know what I mean. But as I see on the daily, we could see up towards there, but again, if we see above maybe towards 182, then we'll be above some of these highs, and then we might come down again towards, I do not know. I mean, some support points at 150. We could have a low point. I think 160 is one of the low points. Yeah, here. So we might see kind of. Oh, let me go to the pen tool. There we go. You know, we have these kind of things down here. Whatever we do up here, you know, this kind of trend, whatever, this sweep, and then kind of a bounce again. You know, whatever it is, I think we'll definitely see negativity above this area, because that is an extreme kind of area up there. But again, we will also have difficulty at this 161 mark, as it is a decently large resistance point for Solana as well. But yeah, I think we'll continue to come down to $134, and I think my 200-ish to 220 area is going to be the area above, as I could expect for Solana on Friday. But again, I think I could be very well wrong on that, because again, it's a big day on Friday. We could just get blown out the water, and I will not be surprised on the slightest. I'm going to go to Ethereum. I will read the chat though. I see KB has sent something. What is this? I must have been looking at the 1 hour. Let me get rid of this crap. Let's look at... This is a good area, I suppose. We can see nice flip there. Where's the 2187? So we've got support there. I mean, this isn't too bad, I suppose. Again, we're back at that breakup block we saw ages ago anyway. We saw there. We've seen it recently. We saw it again. We had that pump anyway. Pump towards this equilibrium we saw. I'll go on the 729 and go 4 hour. Okay, let me read the chat actually. I'll go on Binance quickly to see if anyone's saying anything. Because I won't be surprised if no one's saying anything, because it is Binance at the end of the day. Yeah, nothing going on Binance. So okay, the more I look at Bitcoin on the daily, it makes me think we could be in for one more drop potentially. I mean, what I'll do, I'll look at Ethereum, and then I can have a bit more look on the daily. I haven't looked at Bitcoin. I kind of just looked at the low point I saw earlier, in terms of the 82 to 81.4 area, whatever it was. So I could have a look again, see what high points, low points, not high points, low points, but yeah, significance points we have for Bitcoin. But let me quickly look at Ethereum. So where we are right now, we are back at this breaker block we saw, you know, here, for example. We had that dump for, you know, Bitcoin and the whole market, basically. We saw 2100. We've seen 2100 before. We've also seen 2100 back here. And then we formed this breaker block all the way back here. Very strong breaker block, I will say. Really strong weekly breaker block. So we're back here at support. We came up in the pump on Sunday to this equilibrium pretty strong, you know, pretty sharply. Pretty much bouncing directly off this order block, which is quite nice, but yeah, it could be a fluke. But mainly within this kind of resistance area of Ethereum, obviously came down past that, finding support here again. So in terms of what I could see, again, I wouldn't want to see another low, because comparatively between Solana and Bitcoin and Ethereum, we don't have that equal kind of displacement. Because again, Sunday, it was kind of this movement here. Our movement down has actually been this movement. So this kind of low hasn't held, or it is held, because if you see this kind of extension, kind of stop run here at this purple line, kind of coming past here and seeing this area. So I reckon we could see a bit more kind of upwards. But comparatively over the market, we realistically shouldn't see too much lower. So if I go to the daily, actually, I want to see the daily quickly. See what lows. We've already had that kind of low, because we had obviously this low back all the way. Whoops. We had this low back here, and then this kind of higher low, which also just built up this area even further. And then we had this other low here, which was kind of, you know, there. And if we kind of shimmy all this along, we still have that low down there at 2050. But if we kind of zoom in, you know, we saw this kind of bang, and then obviously we came, you know, right back upwards after we saw this, and then continue onwards. But again, this is some long-term stuff back here, like, you know, 2024 August, 2024 January time. So I wouldn't expect something too strong, but you know, once we kind of came past this, we shouldn't see too much of that movement. So I mean, let me go back to the 4 hour quickly. So in terms of these two lows, I suppose we've got these two lows here, which kind of this bounce and nice moving back upwards, but I wouldn't expect it to react any differently. Obviously, if you look at, you know, some other streams where we've looked at, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana has done other things external, so I'm not too, you know, afraid of those sorts of things happening. So Ethereum could be doing those sorts of things. So, but in terms of Solana and Bitcoin having these higher lows, or potential for having these higher lows, in Ethereum's case, unless we hold where we are right now, and comparatively over Bitcoin, and because to be fair though, Bitcoin and Ethereum have both equally moved over its kind of movement we've had from Sunday. So, but in this case with Ethereum, we've already surpassed it. So Sunday time, obviously big pump. Sunday time, big pump. This movement, we've already come past it here at 2200, 22.5 here, and then we've done some more. So comparison to Bitcoin, where we're here, we have to come down to here. Ethereum's already done that, and we're already above this low. So maybe we've already seen this high. So maybe we have a bit more hoverage here, or we kind of do this, maybe coming into this high point here. But as long as obviously we don't print below this area using resistance, then we shouldn't realistically be in this next range down here towards this equilibrium. And again, this breaker block is massive. This is a really strong support point we've had, not only in this kind of time frame in between these two lows and this low back here, but like I said, start of 2024. We've had this for like a year basically. So I think this is a strong support point. I wouldn't expect us to come lower than it. So I think to differentiate between the two, I think Ethereum might be at its low point now. In comparison to the next few days, I think we could see this bounce from here, from not only the breaker block, but this expansion line, which is also the stop run line. So if you come low in these areas, I'm trying to measure them. I'm trying to see if this is actually relative to what it should be. I don't think it is realistically, but anyway, yeah. So I don't think we'll see lower than this. I think we'll come up. But again, we are, if we don't print below this, we can see resistance in this kind of high low point. But if we're printing at this area, we're not going to be in the next range, so we shouldn't see too much difficulty here. We have seen difficulty on the 4 hour, like I said, at this order block at 2271, but I don't think it's going to give us that much difficulty. So I think our kind of movement back upwards for Ethereum will be a bit easier. I think we will see movement back upwards, but we do have this equilibrium up here, which will be a bit difficult for us. I want to see if there's any of these ranges though. So yeah, these kind of ones up here, I suppose, on the 4 hour. So comparatively, we do have something here for these kind of the displacement area here, which I could expect to see, a visit into and then movement downwards. So this could be a resultant of, if we kind of have this movement upwards, kind of this kind of thing going on, we probably see support back here again, another higher low. And again, obviously, if we're doing higher lows, then we're good. We're good. So yeah, we could see that. I'm going to move on now though to daily, and have a little look at potential price points for Friday. Well, we do have this massive equilibrium which we've had before, and also I will forewarn actually. So I don't know if you guys know, on my Ethereum equilibriums and stuff, when we've been doing it on stream, I've been saying, oh, this equilibrium is good, but it's not being used properly. It's kind of a bit funny. The ranges were drawn wrong. Okay, I put the wrong number in, and that kind of had this butterfly effect, which ruined the entire chart. So I corrected it before Friday. So as you can see, it is a bit better, especially in this range. It's a lot better. So the price points are now slightly different. So that kind of that helps a bit. It does help a lot actually, considering the idea. So yeah, it does help a decent amount considering what it is and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not too surprised. So actually, realistically, I should probably look for some. Now that I know the ranges are correct, I should probably look for some breaker blocks and whatnot. So let me have a quick look back. Go to the 4 hour quickly. Whoops. Have a little look on the 4 hour. I'm gonna wager, I guess, to say that there's gonna be a support point on a time frame in this range. Now, whether that be correct or not is obviously different, but I could expect something, in these ranges back here. Because again, they can span a long time. I can't find it though, but whatever. It was still a good point regardless. But anyway, like I said, the ranges are now a lot better. So I'm on 6561, for example. This is equilibrium in this blue line as well. Obviously, this is main equilibrium. This is outer rim. So you can see really even better usage here. Nice usage here. Nice usage here and whatnot. Over here as well. Some bounces in these areas. Obviously, usage of it here. These bounces, like I said, this bounce over here as well. Now we've come below. So to compare that now, 2,700 is going to be difficult, but I now have the correct price, which is 3,086. So in terms of high points, of where can we see for Ethereum, what's our high points for Friday? Well, I think 26% moving upwards. Again, with Solana potentially having 30%, I think that was $220. Was it again? I think it's $220. So if we comparatively have that, which again is a big move, but is relative, I suppose, depending on how positive we see the response from this announcement of the strategic reserve on Friday, is going to be about 2,690, 2,700 mark, which we've seen before. And it's annoying, but we've seen it before. But again, I also think it depends what we do over the week. If we have this pump, this test of this low point, which I could expect on Bitcoin, then we could see this, like I said, for Bitcoin having this 81.4 to 82k range of the low point for where we could see lower. Solana having that $134 mark, which could also potentially be support point. Or kind of a demand buy area, whatever. I think in Ethereum's case, I think we're at the support point now. I don't think we'll see much lower. We can see lower, but I don't think we will see much lower. And then from there, it's like. But to be fair, we haven't really seen a dramatic kind of area in between. Whoops. If we draw this, like we do still have a range down here. For some lines we haven't seen yet. If I draw it from here, like we've already dipped into it, I suppose. But I'm just trying to see where we could potentially see a dip into for Ethereum. But again, I don't want to say, oh, we'll just have support here and that's it. But at the same time, there's no other things that I have in the way of support unless I go really far back for Ethereum and see like a longer term. Support. If I go the weekly, for example, if I look back, we might see something back here, like look at this, we've got this kind of order block thing going on here. For example, this one, what range are we in with the 6561? So if we go to the we've got this low. To be fair, I did forget the idea that we have lower ranges. We do have this low here. I did completely forget about that idea. So we do have this support point here. Also, additionally, the 2187, it was also the wrong number. So this was the wrong number. So not only was this equilibrium wrong, this low was wrong. So we actually have the proper low now, which is at 2187, which is where our support point is now. So yeah, I don't think we'll see lower than this, personally. So yeah, again, like I said, high points for Ethereum. I think 2,700 could be a high point. We could see 3,000, as high as 3,000 for that support. But we do have these different resistance points, especially at 2,869. So we could have resistance there as well in this range. So again, there's just so many different ranges we could potentially see. I don't know how. Again, I don't know the magnitude of this movement. I don't know how. I don't know the outcome. I can't predict the outcome. Obviously, I'm not a. There's probably someone out there who knows it. But again, it gets to a point where, obviously, if you say, "Oh, we're gonna go up or go down," that's kind of binary. It's easier to guess. But to an exact, not exact price, but to exact range, obviously. I can't for sure confirm because again I'm not in the moment for example. Bitcoin. So more potential movement downwards on the daily. Let me have a look. So is that lower than? Are you thinking lower than 78? Like a 76k area? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of looking over here now. We have a lot of areas of massive movement. We've already kind of seen these dips. Unless we're seeing kind of a 74k visit, like another drop, unless we're seeing a 74k visit, on my personal chart, I don't have any other areas. So for example, if we see this kind of 74, if I could draw a quick array at this line, which also coincides with this kind of range down here, if we were to dip into it at about 74.4, potentially, to cause this though, this is the next step of the reasoning. What would cause this? Well, let me have a look. I mean, what is this group? Oh, these white lines. Oh no, what have I done? I've just hit everything. Oh god. Which one was the good one and the bad one? I forgot. Okay, I think it was these two. Okay, what I'll do actually, I'm gonna make a new group for these so I can remember. Importance. Put areas, I'll call it. There we go. So now I know. Okay, I don't want to mess it up. Not saying it is going to happen. It will also depend on how the daily closes. Yeah, I suppose it depends. I mean, I don't know. I mean, actually, wait, let me go to, my main point I was trying to do was I'm gonna delete these actually, because whatever, we've already looked at them. I want to open some ranges so I can see what we have. Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on what happens in this equilibrium. Now, yeah, it's true. If we're printing at 81.6, I'm not going to be too positive. And yes, I can completely agree. If we are going to print lower than 83.2, let's say, for my personal equilibrium area. Now, again, this could range differently. If we go to this higher range, it is also 83.2. Realistically, I don't really have any other ranges. So if it is lower than 83.2, this kind of equilibrium point, if we are printing below than that, yes, I can agree. If we're low in the equilibrium and we find resistance at it, we could go lower. Where could we go lower? Well, we do definitely have equilibrium. I think it's 73. I think we have a point there, don't we? We have down here, obviously 75, I suppose. But again, it's not a very good range. Where was it? I swear I have like not an equilibrium, but I have a point down here. Yeah, here it is, yeah. So this wider range, here it is. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. So if it's not there, it could be, yeah, down here about 72.6. So yeah, if we see another low, 100%. Because again, this was the structure for me anyway. On the higher range, we're up here, sitting nicely. We broke down. We've now come to this one, and now we're kind of in this range. So we're in this range. We've broken down. Now we're in this range. If we break down again, I think we'll be in this range, which will be in between 83.5-ish and 72.6. So yeah, if we do that, for me, if we do see that, and again, we also have this kind of 74 potential gap down here, but just solely off my ranges, if we do break down on the daily, yes, I think my next point downwards would be 72.6. Yeah, we could see lower, but I don't know. I mean, I think the visit to 81.6 will be quite a decently fast one. And I also don't know. I mean, again, it depends on how the output of tomorrow results. Because again, 2 hours and 57 minutes, are we realistically going to see? Well, I mean, we could see it, but are we realistically going to see that visit? Because that's less than a 4-hour candle. And yeah, some 4-hour candles are what? Like a 1% move. So if we do a 1% move from where we are now. Yeah, so we have, I don't think we'll see it today. In this movement. But again, it depends on if tomorrow we have this, if tomorrow we are going towards this visit of 81.4, 81.2 area, which I think will be a good area, and we don't get back above 83.2, and we're printing out there, and the doors close, and it's over, yeah, 100%. We'll probably see our next ring down, which is 72. Yeah, we do have this, I think it's a weekly. Ooh, is it a monthly? Right. Okay, what range is this on, actually? I forgot I drew this. Oh, never mind. This isn't very good. I mean, I suppose it visits into there. It's not, I don't know why I've drawn this. It's not really very good. I mean, I suppose it wicks into breaker block, and then we could potentially have support at it at 60. Again, I don't know why am I even bothering? Why am I talking about 66? Whatever, doesn't matter. You've poisoned me, KB. You've poisoned me. You've poisoned me with these ideas of 6. I don't know why I'm even bothering talking about the breaker block down there. I don't even know what universe will go down there, unless like the White House gets blown up, or the world, US gets blown up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see a bit less than 66, I reckon. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm bothering talking about this breaker block. We're not going to see it, so what's the point? So yeah, so I think, yeah, I can agree. Just to try and apply a negative spin, if we, for my personal ranges, if we do see a daily print less than 83.3 and we find resistance, we don't get back above, yeah, 72.6. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it off on this area here. No, again, obviously not financial advice or whatever. Does this give price? Perfect. There you go. So that's what I have there for these kind of inter-displacement ranges on the 1 hour anyway, which could have good, not support, but like a good reversal area or a good low point anyway for Bitcoin. I do think we'll do a higher low. I do think we'll come down a bit more over Tuesday, unless something really positive comes out. But I don't see the structure of bouncing where we are now. I don't realistically see the structure. So it's either for me going to be 83.2, 83.3 or down there at 81.65 or whatever I have. So yeah, anyways, I'm 5-ish minutes over, just now gone 5 minutes over the stream. So thank you guys for sticking with me throughout the stream. I do want to get words aren't coming out properly. I want to get the YouTube chat working again, because I said it on Friday. I've been signed out on the on the stream. I've been signed out of YouTube on the streaming app, so it can't pull the chat in, so I can't actually see the YouTube chat, or you guys can't see it anyway. I also can't see it on my main screen, so I have to like alt tab and stuff. So I want to try to get that sorted. But in terms of what's coming up this week, obviously done the stream. I think we'll have a very exciting Friday. I will be streaming Friday as well. I don't know what time the announcement's at. Hopefully it's not like 3 AM my time. Hopefully I can stream it. I might do the stream a bit earlier. But to be fair though, it's the KB stream. So maybe I can have like a ticker on the screen or something of like the live news. Because I want to have something live going on. Maybe I could talk to KB about it. I actually don't know what time it is, to be fair though. So maybe I can not do 2 streams, but maybe I'll do a video or something of it. Or I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I can just talk about the aftermath on Monday, because I've already given kind of my thoughts. I can give maybe another set of thoughts on Thursday as it's getting closer. But anyway, we've got the stream with KB on Friday. Yeah, I mean, we can do it, you know. I mean, it depends. Depends on what the build-up on Friday is. Because again, I don't know if I want to spend the whole stream just sitting on the Bitcoin chart watching it as the announcements happen. I'll check what time it is, the announcement, exactly. I can try do maybe either 2 streams or whatever. But YouTube only notifies for 3 streams in a day, or 3 things in a day. So if Michael does a video and he streams and then I stream, that's free. So well, I could just stream twice and then just post it to our Telegram as I do, and then people who are in Telegram will be notified. So we'll probably just do that. So I could just do 2 streams, dependent on obviously when the announcements happen and whatnot. But anyway, as of right now, KB stream Friday. I'm gonna send some questions. I want to send some questions over, or some kind of ideas of what we could do in the stream in terms of to actually structure it and, you know, make sure I'm not kind of shooting you in the back of the head in terms of the idea. Probably wrong way of wording it, but in terms of just asking you questions out of nowhere. So I will send some stuff over. Other than that, we have the Wednesday stream, which we're doing in the office. I've fixed the app, okay? I fixed the game. It works differently now, so it pulls in a timestamp. So no matter if the game lags or not, I will get the precise time of when you guys answer. So there'll be no crying on Wednesday. There'll be no lagging or this or the other. It will work. 3 times the charm. 3rd time's the charm, whatever. And for Wednesday will be the 3rd time. So hopefully, all things considered, we will have a very smooth game of Mew. Mew night. Obviously, on Wednesday we're going to cover Mew again. We'll do the giveaway at the end, and the game should be polished. It should be fixed. It should be fine. It shouldn't lag. So we'll be okay with that. And then obviously Friday we'll have that stream. So that's my kind of agenda of the week. Obviously my streams all Monday, you know, every day in the mornings. I wanted to say I'll probably be uploading some videos throughout the week as well. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for sticking with me in the stream. I will see you guys Wednesday. See you guys in the Telegram. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, thank you. Goodbye.